Well, Melissa, welcome to the podcast. Because I didn't want Josiah to have to do two presentations, we got the first wife of the season to make an appearance. So thank you for being here. I understand that you have a presentation for me today.
I do. I think you're going to regret letting me do this.
Yep. I probably will. Let's get it over with.
Josiah read it yesterday and he said, McGlone's going to hate this. It's going to be great. Can you see it?
I can. Oh, boy. PRFFDATSE? PRFFDATSE?
Do you want to guess what it stands for?
Party Room Film Festival.
You nailed the beginning.
Downey and Trevor. I don't know. I'm bad at cursive, so I almost don't even think I have the right letters.
That's an S. So it's DATSE are your letters.
Okay. So you did not misspell dates.
No.
See, I thought maybe you were like, here's a date night ideas that are Party Room Film Festival themed, and I was like, she misspelled it.
No. I had a proofreader.
All right. Well, what is the part? Oh boy, what is the PRFFDATSE?
So it's the Party Room Film Festival, directors as Taylor Swift eras.
Jesus. All right. If you look on the screen right now, it will tell you how far to skip into the episode to skip this.
That's so mean. I worked hard on this.
I'm sure you did.
I put way more effort in. Okay, so we're going to go in order of the album's release. Okay, you excited? Also,
hold on real quick. Has she released like 13 albums? Like, do we have enough albums? There's a couple
where there's 2 people per album.
Okay.
That's a great question. Couple where there's 2 people per album. I worked on this on the drive to Pennsylvania and then like the idea, and then I did the rest of it last night. So some of the slides have a lot of words and some of them have very little, and that's because I ran out of energy. So just know that.
All right.
So I worked on this for a good hour and a half, 2 hours. So know that. Okay, are you ready?
Right. Yeah, as ready as I'm gonna be, Melissa.
Great. Okay, so we're starting with Debut, which is Taylor Swift, the album. It's her first album that she ever put out. And so I think Andrew King is the debut album because he was the originator behind the whole idea of Party Room. So it just makes sense that he would be the OG Taylor Swift album because he's the OG idea. And Josiah said, and it's the most country, and Andrew likes bluegrass music. So I'm not really sure how that applies at all, but that was the feedback that he gave at the time. So
can you give examples? Sorry, can you give examples of these songs on these albums so we kind of know what we're dealing with?
Sure, I would love to. Our Song is a pretty popular one from this album. Tim McGraw is another one that's really popular from this album. Also, some of these are definitely a stretch. So no one get offended. But Picture to Burn, Teardrops on My Guitar.
Okay. I actually know some of these.
No. Yeah. I'm only
Is that her on the picture?
That is Taylor Swift in 2006.
She looks so different. Wow.
Well, it was 2006. It's been a minute since she put out a fully country album.
Okay. All right. Cool. Andrew, congratulations. You are.
I wanted there to be a lot more Taylor Swift education happening, but I was tired. So this is all you get. But yeah, so Andrew is dating OG.
Congratulations.
Moving
Andrew.
on, we
You
have
made
the
the
next
list.
album. What? What do you say?
Oh, I was just congratulating Andrew on he made the list.
So then we have Fearless, the next Taylor Swift album. This is very like dreamer, fairy tale. She loves love. She's still like a baby when she wrote this album. And so I feel like that is Matt Stice, because Matt always has all of these ideas and high hopes for all the effects and all the filming that he's going to do. And every year we're like, Matt, are you going to be able to do that? And he's like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. And then maybe that doesn't happen. So I feel like he is really, fearless in his approach to Party Room Film Festival.
Moving on.
Physically hurting you, isn't it? Do you know Fearless? Do you probably know some of these songs? Love Story. You got to know Love Story. That's this album. You Belong With Me. Hey Steven.
I know You Belong With Me. I know
you do or
belong
don't.
with me. I do.
Yeah. See? You know.
Yes, I'm a massive Swiftie. I don't know why you're quizzing me. Let's just keep it rolling.
Okay, Speak Now. We have 2 directors. So the one is Josiah, and for no real other reason other than Speak Now is my favorite Taylor Swift album, and Josiah is my favorite Party Room director. So therefore, he is Speak Now.
Okay. That checks out.
The one that actually makes sense is Tanner. So Speak Now, we got like a new side of Taylor Swift where we had a lot more like sass, sarcasm, witty remarks. She's got a little more confidence. And at least that's how Tanner interacts with me. I don't know about the rest of you, but Tanner is very sassy and sarcastic and witty to me. So he got Speak Now. But it's a great album. Filled with a little bit of rage, but it's a great album. And Speak Now is like Better Than Revenge, Long Live, Back to December, which is the Taylor Lautner song. Are you having fun? I'm having a great time.
I think some nerds are having fun. Maybe. I don't. Oh, Lonzy. Here we go.
All right. So next we have Red. And Red is Levi. And one of the most, if not the most well-known songs on the Red album is a song called All Too Well. And when Taylor Swift originally put it out, it was only like 2 or 3 minutes, but there was a 10-minute version. And fans liked it so much that she put out the 10-minute version. And then that was like hitting top charts and stuff. So Levi is Red because I think Levi could put out a 10-minute song about anything and Party Room would just eat it up and make it the top charts of Party Room. So
that is true.
That's why he gets Red.
I'll give you
Red
that
is the same album. It's also the album. Red is the album that brought you the masterpieces of 22. I'm feeling 22. And We Are Never Getting Back Together. So, not Taylor Swift's best music, if I'm honest, but you do know the songs, I'm sure.
Yes,
that's Levi. Then we have 1989. This is where Taylor entered her, like, she really, like, full force leaned into her pop era. She's, like, totally let go of the country thing at this point. She moved to New York. She's living her best life. It's like a very fun, happy album. I went to the concert. It was just like a fun, good time. And so I feel like that's Trevor. He's got that fun, life of the party, down for anything energy. And this is the
Is
album
this
that brought
the
me Shake It Off.
album? Is that the same album that has Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
I like this album.
Yes. Yep. Bad Blood and Shake It Off. Blank Space. There's a bunch of hits from this album, but everybody
It has
loved
Kendrick
her.
Lamar.
Fully
Yeah, that's fine.
pop scene. See, that's the part that I didn't care about at all. It's like, I don't know, maybe he's on it. Different. Flying right through. So now we have Reputation. This was the big like shocker album because she's up to this point been like sweet, innocent little Taylor, and this she got her like edginess. And I'm pretty sure it like didn't win very many awards, and that was like a whole thing. Tony's pretending to care. He doesn't care at all. But you have to listen. So there you go. So I feel like Reputation is Mitchell without a doubt. I think, you know, Reputation shocked fans. It had all this anger, vengeance. It was like darker themes. It's described as edgy and dramatic. And Mitchell always shocks me. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Like this year, I was like, oh, yay. Like, I'm going to vote for a Mitchell film. This is like such a heartwarming, lovely story. And then it definitely wasn't. And so I feel like he really leans into the darker theme. He does things differently. Things like that. So, Reputation.
Okay. I like it.
Next we have Lover. And this is none other than Zach Adam. Taylor Swift herself describes this album as a love letter to love, which I feel like is very Zach. I feel like Zach is definitely more of like the hopeless romantic, loves deeply, loves freely. It's also just like very bubbly and fun, which is great. And then there's like several like underrepresented groups that she like sort of sticks up for on this album. And I feel like Zach does a really good job of that too. Just like buddying up with people who don't have friends or sitting up for people. So Zach is Lover. Any questions? You having a great time? This is Cruel Summer, by the way.
No.
Oh, I don't think I gave you any Reputation songs, but.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We don't need to go back. That's okay. That's okay.
Well, you know, Ready for It, Don't Blame Me, Look What You Made Me Do. That's a really popular one from that album. That's all Reputation. And then Lover is Cruel Summer, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. What else might you know? You Need to Calm Down. You know that one, surely.
Yes.
Yeah,
what I hate is that like. Huh?
I said also the song Me with Panic at the Disco.
See, what I hate is how much I'm like recognizing and can sing along to a lot of these songs because I work with so many like sororities. So this is usually like the walk-in music or like whenever they are introducing a keynote speaker, this is what pops up. So it's like, yeah, yes, I do know these.
Josiah's dad once said to me that he's never heard a Taylor Swift song, and I was like, that's just not true. Like, whether you like it or not, you have heard a Taylor Swift song somewhere in your life because she's everywhere. Just accept it. Oh, okay. So now we have Folklore and Evermore. They both came out the same year, and they're considered sister albums. So that's why they're together. These are more like whimsical, like folk vibes. She like wrote these in a cabin in the woods. There's a whole documentary about it if you want to watch it on like the making of these albums. It's really good.
Where can I find that documentary, Melissa?
It was on Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore, so I don't know if it's still on there, but it was on Netflix and you should watch it. It's really good. So this is Paul and Sam. Because I feel like they're like the spiritual vibes. I feel like they fit together. I as like the sister albums. So Folklore is like real chill. It also follows the story of a love triangle, which Sam has in his films. What is it? End of the Bloodline? Look at me. End of the Bloodline has that like love triangle.
Wow. Melissa pulling out the PRFF knowledge.
I've attended the festival a couple times. And like some of the songs in Folklore, like some of the themes might surprise you. And I feel like Sam can be like that, you know? Might surprise you. And then Paul is Evermore. It's like more wise, you know, she's developed some wisdom at this point. It's warm, it's friendly. It's got a lot of like short stories in it, but they're like really deep. The caveat here is that some of these are a stretch. And Evermore is also like the album where Taylor Swift got accused of being a witch. She's not a witch, but like I don't know if you heard about all that in the news when everyone was like, she's a witch.
No.
So I feel hesitant to put Paul as the witch album, but if you just ignore that bit, then it fits in pretty well.
Don't move on from the one interesting thing. What do you mean she was accused of being a witch?
I can't remember if it had to do with like the choreography at the concert, or I think it was the choreography at the concert. But people basically made this whole thing about like if you went to the concert during the Evermore set, Taylor would like do a magical thing to you, like a chant or whatever, and she was using her like witchy magic. I don't know. It was a whole thing. So that is this album, but I don't think she's a witch.
I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would ever think she has like magical mind control abilities. That doesn't seem on par with everything I've seen.
Listen, just because she writes good, you know, catchy tunes doesn't mean she's a witch. But who's to say? But that's a caveat here. Again, all of these are kind of a stretch, but that's the one that I was like, oh, I don't know if I should make Paul the Witch album. But yeah, very, very like calm, peaceful vibe, these two albums. Songs from Folklore you might know would be The Last Great American Dynasty, August, probably those two. And then Evermore, songs you might know from Evermore. These also came out in 2020. These were her like 2020 quarantine albums. Champagne Problems, you might know. Maybe Marjorie. There's several on there. These two albums. Great, moving on. We're almost done. We're doing great. Then we have Midnights, which came out in 2022. It's a lot like funkier, has some like, I don't know, synth. I don't know. I don't really know music, if I'm honest. I only know Taylor Swift. But this is two people. So Cody and Aaron. The album can be described by some people as quirky. And so I put that on Aaron, particularly in his film this year. And the quote I found was Swift letting us glimpse the chaos inside her head. And I feel like that about summed up Aaron's film this year. So, and then Cody. And then Cody, it's also described as an artsy album produced by Sleepless Nights, which I feel like could be a direct statement made about some of Cody's films as well. So I feel like it fits beautifully. This would be Lavender Haze, Anti-Hero, You're on Your Own Kid, Snow on the Beach, Karma. Lots of hits on this album. I think you only have like two more. So then it brings us to her most recent album, which is The Tortured Poets Department and the Tortured Poets Department Anthology. And who better for the Tortured Poets Department than Jacob McClone?
Okay.
So the Poet Taylor is In my mind, the Tortured Poets Department is a government municipal building where they study the behavior and minds of poets. So I said, no one can really understand the mind of Jacob McGlone, but that's what makes your film so entertaining and interesting to watch. And then she also surprised fans she came out with the album, which we knew was coming. And then she surprised fans with the anthology, which was like a whole nother album. So it's like 31 songs total. And you're constantly creating new and exciting content for the party room. So I feel like you having the longest album that like took the most time and energy to produce and stuff, I feel like sums you up. So
see, I feel like you started with like, yeah, Jacob's an insane person, and then you worked backwards to try and make it a nice thing.
That's how it works. I gave you...
Okay. Before we move on, I'd like to point out that you misspelled sometimes. So in your face.
Oh, where?
Bottom.
Well, it's not misspelled. That's a typo. I know how to spell it. Also, Josiah read over it too, so we both missed that.
Immediately throw your husband under the bus.
Listen, I had a proofreader. We're both very tired though. Also, I do feel like you are a little bit tortured at Party Room because everyone picks on you. So you can be the tortured puppet.
Moving on.
But we love you. And then there's one more that you're probably not familiar with, which is Karma. And Karma is the lost album that fans believe Taylor made, but she never put it out. And that is Landers. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's really funny. I was like doing the math in my head. I was like, who's left? Who's next? All right, that's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
all of that build up for that last joke was really good.
Thank you. I thought you would like that. I also thought it was pretty funny. So I hope I didn't offend anyone. Directors or Swifties out there, know that I did my best and some of this is a stretch.
I mean, who are the Swifties in the group? Like, aren't Ellen and Holly both into it?
I don't think Ellen is. Ellen can correct me. Holly is for sure. I think Holly and Sarah King are the only Swifties I know of in the group, but I would love to meet more if there are more. But we talked to Party Room about the concert, so I know those two for sure.
Oh man. All right, well,
if I had like thought about it ahead of time, I could have texted them to get input, but I didn't do this until last night, so I didn't do that.
Well, thank you so much. You definitely did put in a good amount of effort into this, so I appreciate it. It was great.
I really did put in a lot. I needed something that I would actually care about. This is that. So.
I mean, in fairness, whenever I pitched to Josiah, like, we can let Melissa do one, like, I did assume that it would just immediately go, top 10 ways to torture Jacob, number 1. Like,